The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit is back at Los Alamitos Racecourse with 9 great days of racing starting on Friday, June 20th. The opening weekend will feature the $100,000 Bertrando Stakes. Plus, the summer meet will include the running of the Los Alamitos Derby on Saturday, June 28th. We'll also have a holiday racing program on Friday, 4th of July. And our on-track handicapping contest will be on Saturday, June 28th. Daytime racing returns to Los Alamitos. Opening day is Friday, June 20th.
And welcome everyone to the Los Alamitos preview show. Another great weekend of racing here at Los Alamitos, and happy to be joined by our great panel, George Duarte, Chris Wade, Michael Wrona. Welcome all of you. We'll start with George. George, how is your week going?
It's going good. I have a couple graduations I'm going to this week, my nephew. So I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to a good racing weekend. We got the Belmont Derby. Everybody's going to excited for that rematch, and it's going to be a good betting card for on Saturday, especially with the inflated pools from everybody there that's going to be there from the daytime.
Yeah, absolutely. We have the Kentucky Derby winner, Sovereignty, going against Los Alamitos Futurity winner and Preakness winner, of course, Journalism, and a slew of other outstanding horses as well. Baeza, Rodriguez, a really, really interesting race. Michael, how are you?
Terrific. Yeah, mate, all good here in Huntington Beach.
Did you watch the Champions League? What a romp by PSG, huh?
I watched it until the third goal, and I actually did not persevere. It was so one-sided, but yeah, triumph for that team to finally lift that trophy. Been a long time coming, and it's all happening in Paris at the moment with the French Open tennis as well.
Yeah, I see an American made it to the ladies final, right?
Coco.
Coco
so
that's gonna be a really fun final. We had Chris Wade as part of the panel. It seems like he has dropped off, so as soon as he comes back, we'll add him up and hear his thoughts on the racing card here at Los Alamitos. We will have 9 races on Saturday. Looking forward to the Sunday card, which will feature the running of the Fred Scane. Some really nice horses in there. Right now, there was 3 runners in the field that will be back for the Fred Scane. 3 of them that ran in the Kindergarten Futurity. Beyond Repair is one of them. Fireworks Over Paris, another one. And El Mero Mero will also be joining that cast. There's 3 other runners that will also be in action. All of the horses that were nominated have already won a race. So it will be a really interesting race. So when you hear those 3 kindergarten runners, is there one that you're looking forward to seeing the most back? Fireworks Over Paris, of course, ran second in the kindergarten. Beyond Repair was the fastest qualifier. And we always like saying the name El Mero Mero. Who are you looking forward to seeing the most, Michael?
Seeing the most or saying the most?
Yeah, saying the most.
Saying the most got to be El Mero Mero, right?
Right. Yeah.
Seeing the most, you're not going to make me pick between the other 2, surely. Fireworks Over Paris was fantastic, but Beyond Repair is worth another chance, and because he was so impressive leading into the final. So let's see what post positions they come up with. Sounds like a very good rendition of the Fred Scane Stakes.
Yeah, George?
Yeah, it's at 300 yards, so I think that opens up the race even more. Depending on the post, because Beyond Repair did not handle that outside post. El Mero Mero, I keep saying he's quicker than he's shown, and I'm hopefully that night he can show it, because I think he can run a really good race against those two. And there's another horse because I already worked on that race. Hopefully he's entered. It's JJ the Boss. I thought was an interesting one. I liked how he won from the far outside post in his maiden win.
Yeah, I believe he is part of that field also. Chris, we have Chris Wade back. We missed you, Chris, but good to see you. Yeah, we were just talking about the Fred Scane field, and there's going to be 3 runners from the kindergarten back in the Fred Scane Beyond Repair, the fastest qualifier. Fireworks over Perez, who ran second in the 300-yard kindergarten, and El Mero Mero as well. Out of those 3, who are you looking forward to seeing back racing?
Oh, of course, Fireworks over Paris. Friends with the owners, and so happy to see them. Some quality people. I have a nice runner, but you got to give Beyond Repair another look. Of course, was so good prior, working so well prior. His trial was very impressive. One of the fastest qualifiers. Just for some reason, just didn't like that outside post and didn't fire at all. The winner was long gone. Beautiful was long gone on the front end in 15:30. It was so very impressive. But you got to give another look to Beyond Repair to repair that last effort and run to his ability, which I think he probably will. But Fireworks over Paris was very, very impressive. Was running a pretty good race that particular evening, running second in the final. But Beyond Repair, got to give him another look, but we'll see.
So let's go ahead and take a look at Saturday's racing action. Again, first post for the Saturday program is 6:30 p.m. Los Alamitos will be open at 7:30 a.m. To start all the simulcast action on Belmont Stakes Day from Saratoga on Saturday. Burghardt and the Vestos Club will be open at 9 a.m. So there's still some great tables available if you would like to join us there. But our first live race, 6:30 p.m. And Michael, you're starting off early for the Saturday program here with your selection, aren't you?
Quickly into stride, mate. I'm going to get the ball rolling with the 4.5 furlong thoroughbred maiden claimer. Race number 1 on the Saturday program. Surf Star caught my eye in her first start of the year, her first start locally, when she had a pretty rude introduction to Los Al racing. The first 50 or 100 yards was not too enjoyable for her, but she did some nice work late in the stretch, and she might be able to improve enough to take a hand in the finish for this race.
And there's the first race from May 24th. Michael, Surf Star. Let's take a look at this race, and you tell us what you like.
Gate 4, little slow to begin, but then just got checked and crowded, was throwing the head up. It got squeezed. The head on replay looks pretty ugly, and it just went very badly for Surf Star early, who drops back a distant last and stayed a clear last the length of the back stretch. The jockey was in no particular hurry to get the horse balanced, maybe just letting the horse get her feet under her, maybe thinking that the bird had already flown, the race was over after all that early trouble. But there really wasn't a lot of urgency in the first half of the race. The whip came out in the stretch near the 16th pole, and Surf Star was actually closing on the extreme outside, really encouragingly, making up considerable late ground to finish third, right on the wire, got up for third, galloped out well, and is right up there with the winner on the turn out of the stretch. So, you know, I don't like picking horses in these short distance races who are lacking early pace, but it's interesting to me that trainer Howard Rubin is putting blinkers back on. And I just wonder if that might liven up Surf Star, along with hopefully a fair, clean, even break on Saturday night. Because the horse did race with blinkers on a few occasions last year. She was coming into this race we just showed you off a lengthy layoff. Was a Northern California-based filly as a 2-year-old. And she actually led early in a 5.5 furlong race at Santa Rosa with blinkers on. I'm not saying she can break on top and lead in a 4.5 furlong race at Los Al. I'm just interested in whether the blinkers and she's first time Lasix for whatever that's worth, but whether the blinkers might just allow her to stay in touch, within striking range. And if so, she might be able to get over the top of them. There's not a lot of depth in the race. Ed has pegged the 8 horse as a clear-cut morning line favourite at 6-5, Wild Ruler, coming out of Arizona for Van Belvoir. And Belvoir is a very good trainer. But I have noticed that the horses he has run here in the last couple of weeks since coming back into town have been a little disappointing. Some of them at rather short odds, including Expect Love in the 5th race last Sunday. They haven't really been firing. And 6-5, I'm not so sure. Nice outside post, yes. But maybe until the Belvoir runners, the Arizona shippers start finding the winner's circle, maybe I'll just take a risk, take a stand against them. And there's not much beyond the favourite, that's an evenly bunched group of horses from 4, 5, 6-1 on the morning line. So who's got the most potential upside? I think it's Serve Star. I think she just got, as a 3-year-old, with the equipment change, I just think there's an angle there. And at 5-1, maybe she's worth a shot.
This is an interesting race as I'm looking at it a little bit more, because you see a lot of, you mentioned Van Belvoir, that he's had horses that have raced here at Low Style, and of course our leading trainer Angela Aquino is here, but a lot of new faces are saddling horses in this race. Manuel Badilla, Jesus Ramos, who's kind of established himself here at Low Style over the last 4 or 5 months. Sergio Ledesma, like you said, Howard Rubin, Terry Eaton, who here at Low Style, we've known her for a long time for her Arabians, and Marcia Storrs, who has also been here at Low Style with quite some regularity. Alyssa Morales, I had a chance to meet her in the jocks room last week. She spent a lot of her time riding in a Turf Paradise. That's where she's coming from here, and now has a few mounts that she has been involved here at Los Alamitos. So Michael going in race number 1 on Saturday night with the 4, Surf Star at 5-1. Love those odds, Michael. And I know another one of our panel also likes Surf Star. Isn't that right, George?
Yeah, I also picked it on top. I just really liked how she improved off the private purchase. It was the former trainer was the owner before, and so it was I'm assuming it's a private purchase. And I just really like to step up, adds Lasix, puts the blinkers back on. There's a lot to look forward to, and I agree with Michael when he was saying that those Turf Paradise shippers just haven't run to what people expected them to run to, and this is a race that I'm willing to go against that 6-5 favorite.
Let's go ahead and move a little bit later on the card, and we'll find race number 6 here is for maidens. We have several maiden races on the docket here on Saturday night. The number 1, Hechicera, for E.G. High Desert Farms, whose 2-year-olds are doing really, really well. Favorite Mojo making his first out, a half-brother to the great B.H. Lisa's boy, right? Did I say
Yes.
that?
And you can ignore that May 3rd work. The horse just came in on him and just basically pinned him against the rail, so he had no chance to run. So that's why it was 13-4.
Yeah,
so
the other horse had
ignore that
no
one.
time.
It's 2 good works.
Yeah, he has looked really good in those 2 drills. George, I think the first time that he worked, he went against Just Maxie and me in that work, and we saw Just Maxie and me how impressive she was. Teller Army MRL, Shouldn't High Cowboy, Carl the Legend, Don't Tell Mama, KJ Looking for Love, Anonymity, ran 4th last out, and Soldier 28. Chris, you have a selection in this race.
Yeah, I'm going to give a look to second-time starter Anonymity, the 8 horse. This horse worked very, very well for the connections prior to the debut. Ran pretty well with all factored in. in that needed effort over the racing surface. This horse broke in and bumped and skied a little bit midway, but finished pretty well the final half of the affair and under a little bit of a hold and earned a decent figure with all factored in my chart. So I'm going to give a slight edge to the 8-horse anonymity there at 3-1 on the program. Get that second lifetime start. Big look with all factored in with expected improvement with the race over the track.
Let's go ahead and take a look at Anonymity's debut race. That's on May the 10th, race number 9. Race number 9, and Anonymity is going to break from post number 9. The sire, MP Shining, has been doing really well here at Los Alamitos with this few runners that we've seen here, huh, Chris?
Yes, doing very, very well. And this horse has got some talent. And I got, like I said, got that needed start out of the way. It worked very, very well for the connections prior to the debut. Broke in a little slow, broke in and brushed away from the gate, and took a little out of the horse early, kind of drifted out midway, and then was kind of skiing a little bit, kind of drifting in, drifting out. But was starting out pretty well the final half of the affair with all factored in, on own, under a little bit of a hold near the wire. So it's a much better look effort and expected better getaway, hopefully. And with the race experience, the horse has a good look at the outcome there at 3-1 on the program.
There's Anonymity, and like we mentioned earlier, Beyond Repair for the same connections here, Valentin Zamudio, and like we mentioned earlier, Beyond Repair with Valentin Zamudio and Ruben Lozano, the same connections as Anonymity. They'll be in action on Sunday in the Fred Scane. So again, that was race number 6. Let's take a look one more time at this good field, and Chris Wade with a 3-1 choice, top choice in his book here with the 8 Anonymity. They paid $22,000 for this colt at the Los Alamitos equine sale. And boy, the Los Alamitos equine sale has really been shining of late. Lethal Cowboy 1, 2, 3 qualified for the big race at Ruidoso Downs this weekend. We'll actually be bringing that Ruidoso Derby here this weekend. And he's a Los Alamitos equine sale graduate and, of course, accelerated. The sale topper last year looked really good in the trials to the Ed Burke. So again, there's the field. Favorite Mojo, also from the equine sale, graduate there. Carl the Legend, $93,000, and we'll be seeing him for the first time making his debut out of a great mare, Babe on the Fly. The sire walked through fire. Do you remember these drills, George, from Carl the Legend? He's going to be making his debut as well.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the times tell the story. I mean, he didn't really have much trouble in those efforts. He hasn't lived up to his breeding. I think that's probably the main reason Lozano, who is Zamudio's main rider, opted for the other. I think he's going to need a few races. Maybe needs to be gelded. Who knows? But, I mean, he has the breeding to be good. Babe on the Fly is one of the top brood mares of all time. And so there's always potential, but just hasn't shown it yet.
Yeah, and Juan Pablo Leon is helping Valentin Zamudio in the mornings. I've seen him out there in the mornings quite a bit here. So that's race number 6. We have one more handicapper with his selections, and Michael's got us going in race number 1, and George is going to bring us a selection in the final race, race number 9 here on Saturday night. Here's the allowance field: Mitchum, Valcaruso, Be Careful, Powerful Wise Lady, Los Alamitos Oaks Futurity runner-up earlier this year, Personal Attack, and Compa 30, Nationalist, and Cujo, the Eddie Willis barn, now with Albert Valles as the name trainer here at Los Alamitos. George, who are you going with here in race number 9?
I'm going with Mitchum along the inside. I always like these longer quarter horse races and 350 yards, so that's why immediately I looked into this race and see who I liked. And the race is pretty competitive. You have Be Careful, who ran well last time out, going shorter against Alexa Czech. The 4th place finisher came back to win. So that race is productive. You got Powerful Wise Lady, who's been facing stakes fillies this entire time this season. You have a couple of maiden winners, El Compatrenta Nationalist. National is a big sized runner, and he wants this distance and is bred well. I mean, he was $170,000 repurchase in that equine sale 2 years ago. And you have the quick Cujo on the outside. But for me, I like the Mitchum. I like that comeback effort on January 5th. And it was probably a prep for the trials to the Winter Derby, because he only had a turn-in work prior to that effort. And I thought it was good. He ran against one favorite, Racy, who ended up coming back and winning non-winners of 3. So that race proved productive. He tried 400 yards, and I always speak about how they need that start out in the 400 yards. And you can see the improvement that he made by who ran third in that race, which was Justin Kevin. He lost to him by a length and a half. Comes back on March 2nd for the El Primero trials, runs a better race and only lose to him by half. So it shows you how much progression that second time out really improves you when you go that distance. So I just really like I don't really like the draw next to Val Caruso, but I like the talent and I like the price. So that's where I went with Mitchum along the rail.
Yeah, second out after winning that maiden race was the second place finish to Devil's Tower. And Devil's Tower showed throughout the year last year that he is certainly a quality horse. Michael, you have always been a fan of Mitchum, haven't you?
Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, I loved him in a trial early this year when he drew out wide, and I thought he was a good thing, and I was very disappointed with his effort that night. But he's been sporadically raced. They're just picking their spots. He's still very much inexperienced with a lot of upside, and I still think that the best is yet to come. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this horse blossom in the second half of the season.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at that March 2nd race. He's been off a few months here, Mitchum, but it's coming off of a very competitive race like George mentioned against Justin Kevin and Midnight Mood in the trials to the El Primero del Año Derby. So let me bring up race number 8 back on March 2nd. There's the 8th race, and we bring it to you again, George, for some input on this race. Mitchum starting from post 5.
Yeah, he comes away okay. I mean, he keeps his path. He has a wide path. I think he drifts in a little bit. And I just really liked how he finished in the final 110 yards. You really see him making up ground in the finish, and I just think he's just still learning. He's a good sized runner, and he's lightly raced. Only ran 5 times. He closed into a 9:57 final 8th, which I think is pretty impressive compared to what these other runners have done at these longer distances. And I just think, along with the clean break, I mean, Val Caruso's quick. He doesn't necessarily break in, but just sometimes it's a little discouraging, like how what happened in this race, where say he's the one, then he has Val Caruso on the outside kind of drift in a little bit. It kind of intimidates them. So as long as he can avoid that happening, I think he's going to be flying late, and I don't think they can hold him off.
This is our feature race on the Saturday night card, so I would love to hear Chris Wade's opinion here on our feature.
Oh, it's a closely matched affair. You got some, like you said, that Mitchum ran very, very well. He's steadily improving. Inside post at least is going to promote a clear path to wires. A nice-sized individual, gets 350 yards, has a look. Nationalist, a horse who got rather rambunctious. 3 horses that race got rather rambunctious in the gate, and he broke the gate open and still won. And the horse that he beat was Michael's Fire, who was George's selection that particular night. He had it 1 race, tried too early because Michael's Fire returned this last weekend and crushed, but comes out of a productive race. Nationalist does, and he did break the gate. When horses do that, they don't normally run back and run. He's a nice-sized individual. He's got to look at the outcome there as well. Of course, Cujo on the outside, disappointed last time, can move forward here and be a factor for the new connections. And, of course, Powerful Wise Lady, you got to give her a chance because the talent is there. She's her own worst enemy. She always seems to find trouble. And it's a closely matched affair in the finale. there on Saturday. Could go any number of ways. So don't leave that. Don't say that $16 in the Pick Four. It could go any number of ways in that finale. And of course, the Val Caruso horse with some talent. He gets away clean. Got to look at the outcome. Got to slice the pie as well. It can go any number of ways in the finale.
And speaking of slice of the pie, Michael, last week's show, you gave us a selection that won the opener, right? To kick off that early Pick Four that paid nicely, right?
Yeah, alphabetical order. Last Sunday, that's the horse you're talking about?
Yeah.
First leg of the late Pick Four. Yeah, I think he paid $6. It's a good weekend for me, actually, because on the Saturday morning Thoroughbred Los Angeles radio show, I picked Coruscation, who won at 7-2. So Jesus Uranga did me a couple of favors last weekend.
Yeah, and George and I, we kind of rolled with the same selection. He did it on the show, and I also like JMF Cartel, and that was my selection on the radio with Mike Willman, Thoroughbred LA. So nice series of winners. Chris, I'm going to put you on the spot here because I just brought up the Ruidoso Derby, and I know you are the man when it comes to our simulcast races. Who's your top selection in the Ruidoso Derby on Saturday? The first post for this one will be 3:54 p.m. on Saturday.
Well, it's that horse that's listed there at 20-1. He is one of the fastest qualifiers. Won his fourth consecutive race and was very, very impressive. I think it might be a mistake on the morning line. He's at 20-1 in the program. I think it's the 4 horse, like if I remember correctly. And then, of course, the other horse, the 5-2 shot. Yeah, the 3 horse. Yeah, electrifying Cowboy. Yeah,
from a ownership line that we are familiar with, Tungsten Racing Partnership. Here, they campaign Train B Taka, and also, like I mentioned earlier, the 5 Lethal Cowboy 1, 2, 3 is going to be part of this field. This field, Mark Jungers here sends out Lethal Cowboy 1, 2, 3, and if you're a fan of Los Al, you're going to see 15-1 on Lethal Cowboy 1, 2, 3 in the Ruidoso Derby, with Edwin Escobedo and Mark Jungers, who never lose here at Los Al. You got to put $1 or $2 there. It might be time for the emergency voucher to come out again here in this race. 15-1, Lethal Cowboy 1, 2, 3. But no,
very aggressive morning line by this morning line maker.
Yeah, exactly. But no, Electrifying Cowboy 20-1. That's your top pick, Chris.
Yes, he's fastest qualifier. Won his trial by 4 lengths without even being asked to drop. And I think he's got a good look at the outcome. If I get anything close to that 20-1, I'll be pretty happy if he runs his race. So we'll see how all things turn out in the 10th and final there on Saturday at Ruidoso.
I wonder what Ed Burgard thinks of that morning line. That'd be a loaded question.
You might get a tweet here on Saturday afternoon. Well, if you are in the area and you want to play the races, quarter horse race early, watch the Belmont Stakes and then watch the Ruidoso Derby, and you can play them both here at Los Alamitos Racecourse. Well, thank you so much for your time, gentlemen. It's going to be a fun weekend. Of course, the Belmont Stakes from Saratoga. Once again, gates open at 7:30 a.m. here at Los Alamitos. And our first post here on Saturday night is 6:30 p.m. To all our viewers, thank you so much for spending some of your afternoon time here with us, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Bob.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit is back at Los Alamitos Racecourse with 9 great days of racing starting on Friday, June 20th. The opening weekend will feature the $100,000 Bertrando Stakes. Plus, the summer meet will include the running of the Los Alamitos Derby on Saturday, June 28th. We'll also have a holiday racing program on Friday, 4th of July. And our on-track handicapping contest will be on Saturday, June 28th. Daytime racing returns to Los Alamitos. Opening day is Friday, June 20th.